sure you listen to my daddy's podcast right now. It's the best show in the world.
And this is the Cards Face Up podcast. I am your host, Mr. Ty Hill. Listen, we have one of those episodes, y'all. Y'all know what we do over here. We like to build those moments of nostalgia. I'm talking about those moments, those memories in time and history that it smell like some, it smell like that good cooking at your grandmother's house. You feel me? One of them was just now on here singing about grandma's hand. So it's only right that he already know what it is. Listen, man, today's guest, they special to the world, but they are extra special to my city of Baltimore. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, all of our guests are special. You know, I love them all. They all got that moment in history, but these two brothers right here, they hometown heroes who ended up being national celebrities. You understand? So they started here first. We need to make that clear. The year was 2000. Let's go back down memory lane. You know, when all of the male singers was on the radio singing about how much they love their chick and how they'd do anything to keep them. You know how they were. You know, we was on some stuff. I'm talking about songs like Wifey by Next. Will you be my wifey? That was on the hit right there. What else was on there? Oh, he can love you like I. Y'all remember Jagged Edge had that? That was on the charts at the time. Cisco had I could have anything, nothing wrong with that. Whatever he said, incomplete. Y'all remember it? And that was my song too. But everybody was at that moment was begging, and these two brothers took a chance. They took a risk and went against it all, and they came out with no more shopping sprees, no more. Going against the ladies, calling. Listen, they was cutting her off from everything. This was the first time at this point. This was probably the only songs on the top 100 at this time that was going against the lady, and they had #1 on the Billboard 100. So listen, I ain't promoting go cut your chick off. I ain't promoting none of that. But what I will say, these two brothers right here that I'm about to bring to this show and introduce, they go by the name. Well, first of all, let's break down who they is. We got Dante Chief Jordan. And we got David Davinch Chant. And when they come together, they go by the name Ruff Endz. Welcome to the show, my brothers.
Man, appreciate you for having me.
What up? What it do?
I am so blessed to have you, brothers. Like, what we do over here, like I say, man, we build moments of time, moments in time. Those moments that just capture the world, capture your heart. No more shopping sprees. No more late night creep. That captures a moment in our heart. Like when you hear that come on the radio now, you still think about what you was doing at that time. You think about a happier time. You think about, we probably ain't have no kids at the time. We probably was all having fun out here making all types of crazy mistakes. How you brothers doing, man? How are y'all, man?
Exactly.
I'm good, brother.
Look, we woke up, we made it through the pandemic. Everything is up from there, brother. What can you say? You know what I mean?
You know, well and good. Well and good. Good and well.
Y'all just now celebrated, you know. Y'all just now we're going to get through the whole history of who Ruff Endz is, but I got to congratulate y'all on celebrating. I know y'all celebrated the 20th anniversary of Love Crimes in the beginning of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So y'all what, about 24 years in now, right?
Indeed. Yeah, for
y'all
sure.
Y'all OGs now.
Yes, sir.
Ain't that crazy?
Coming from Baltimore City.
That's crazy though. That's crazy. That's like we OGs that fast. I went from cuz to unc that fast.
Like this. And they be serious when they call you unc. Hey, unc. What?
I went from bro, cuz to unc, like that. Goodness gracious.
I want to get it right into it, man. Where did the name Ruff? Let's go before Ruff Endz. Before Ruff Endz, y'all was in what? Ultimate Condition. It was a group. Tell me about Ultimate Condition.
Why you had to do the hand like that? Ultimate Condition, bro.
We had mint condition. Like, was y'all looking at the album cover and was like, we're gonna do ultimate condition?
I think we might have had flavor, something influence on that name. You know what I mean?
I don't know what we was doing, man. I don't know, man.
Southwestern High School, man. Southwestern. That was out there, man. But
the label tried to name us Impact. The label we tried to name was Impact. We was gonna be called Impact.
So Ultimate Condition was a step up.
I know. Exactly. So
what did that consist of? That is just not it's just not Davinch and Ultimate Condition. What was that? A 4-man group?
Yep, it was a 4-man group. Go ahead, Brown. Tell him.
Ultimate. Who was the Ultimate Condition? Was that Phil and Quan?
Ultimate Condition was Southwestern.
Oh my God. Ultimate Condition was before what was our group name when we was with Phil and Quan and them? Dang, Ultimate Condition. Yeah, Ultimate Condition was Ronnie Henson. Ronnie Henson had a deal with Def Jam. And our homeboy Will, we call him Al. That was the school. That was the school crew. Like the first day I came to school, I actually was coming off of Emerson and Monroe. I was in the streets heavy. Emerson and Monroe, Murphy Homes. I used to run heavy through there. So me and my mom had this agreement that I was, no matter what I was doing, no matter what I did, that I was gonna get up papers, which was my high school diploma, my school papers. So I started going to school, but the first day I went, I didn't go to class. I was just peeping in to see what was going on, dipping in to see what the vibe was. And I heard David and them down in the music room. So instead of walking up them steps, if anybody know about Southwestern, like when you come in, that's at the bottom and all the classes is up these steps. Only classes down the bottom is music. And I think JROTC was down there somewhere, but yeah, I heard them singing and playing the piano. So I came in, he was in there rehearsing. I was like, this is the room I want to be in right here. And I stayed there the whole class period, wound up joining in with them and singing. And they were like, yeah, I remember you from round the way, something, your family live around there. And I was like, yeah, I remember you too, something. That's your family down there, that the church family, the down there on the corner. Yeah, it was one of them kind of situations. So, yeah, man. Ultimate Condition. That was the beginning.
So I hear Chi was the one, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I hear back in the Baltimore days before y'all wanted to be Mint Condition 2.0.
Ultimate Condition.
Exactly.
She was the one in the street.
Indeed. She was definitely known.
Ultimate Condition.
He's still on Ultimate Condition. Say the name right, nigga. So you was in the street, and I heard Davinch, you had came from a family with church backgrounds and things of sort, right?
For sure.
Okay,
so one of the few to have a mom and a dad in the house, you know what I mean? So my dad was a minister, a pastor, and my mom was an evangelist, you know what I mean? So they evangelized Baltimore. Like our house was church, we had the winos, junkies, the whole neighborhood. I used to eat breakfast on my way to Southwestern. Here I had some of the winos making them soup, and my dad used to make a soup that the whole neighborhood loved. Like people was coming there, Greg, you got some of that soup? You know what I mean? So, he used to make breakfast for them and all that. So that's how we grew up. Like they were servants of the hood, you know what I mean? So, it was kind of a respect thing. They knew my father, they knew my mom, and they knew like the family, like that's the church family, leave them boys alone, the hustlers around there, that kind of thing. So it was a blessing growing up though, like that,
That was back when community. That's dope. That's back. Salute to y'all moms and pops, man. That's back when the community stuck together. Feed everybody type of.
Exactly.
That's dope. So how do we get to Ruff Endz though? How do we get to Ruff Endz with just a 2-member group? Is it any other big 2-member groups?
Sam and Dave. Because at the time I had no idea who Sam and Dave was. And I think Rush Scola from Drew Hill had mentioned him. And when he had mentioned him, I didn't know who he was talking about until he sung the song. He was like, "So man, I'm a soul man.
Okay.
That's Sam and Dave. That was a
That's
big
a
two-man
two-man.
group. Yep.
Okay.
Sam and Dave. Other than that, it wasn't no other two-man group. And
At
then
the
it
time.
was crazy because after we had made the decision and we was confident about it, we was going with it. Because you know it took a minute because we were so hung on 4-part harmony. Being able to go live without nothing and do that 4-part, 3-part harmony, one person singing lead. You know what I mean? So we were stuck on it. So once we got it in our head, which SCOLA from Drew Hill is one of the people that really told us like, yo, y'all can do it. Because like, you know, I see y'all trying to do the group thing. Brothers is trying to be a bunch of different stuff instead of, you know, really, you know, coming to rehearsals and really showing up and all of that kind of stuff. So I think y'all should do it with just y'all and get the ball rolling. Once we got it in our minds, JODECI broke up. And it was just JoJo and KC. I ain't lying. It was crazy. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
All my life.
and we looking at each other like, we like, yeah, we're gonna be the only two-man group for real, other than Zane and they 2 girls. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? Zane was like, yeah, that's 2 girls. We're gonna be the only other 2 guys. Yeah, and they be hitting, they be popping, you know, they be doing that thing. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Right before we came out, JODECI broke up, JoJo and KC. I like, yo, you can't write this, bro. This is real life. This is real life, bro. But I'm like, we like, man, listen, we gonna just do what they do, and they gonna do what they do. So, I mean, that's what it was, you feel me? And it was crazy because after we met them, they mentioned that. They mentioned like, yo, we heard y'all album and went back to the drawing board. Like Casey actually said it to us one day. He was like, yeah, man, we heard that Love Crimes album. And we had to go tighten up. I'm like, oh my God, for real? I was like, yeah, we felt the same way when y'all split up JODECI and came out as a 2-man right before our first album. Bro.
Yo, the JODECI stories, man. Shout out to JODECI. And it's crazy because like you talking about SCOLA. And I've had big homie Woody on here from Drew Hill. I've also had Mr. Delvin on here from Drew Hill, who is also a big homie of mine. Yeah. And to listen to their stories about each other, then to hear the Casey and JoJo stories, Baltimore, we have made our mark. I told y'all listeners, I know I got fans across and listeners. I like to call y'all family members, man. I know I got fam across the world.
Indeed.
But listen, this is a Baltimore one right here. Like to hear that Baltimore, man, we placed our name on that map for sure. So how once y'all started Ruff Endz, right? How did y'all end up on BLEEK Street? Because a lot of people don't realize that. Now, I'm one of the ones that had this back when tape cassettes was still. I used to go up Soundgarden and all those type places and get the cassette. And you know, Ruff Endz was probably one of the
this dude.
It was probably it was maybe 1 or 2 other people on there. Well, it was probably one other person other than y'all that wasn't known. You know, you got Jay on there. You got the album is serious, and it's for a Martin Lawrence split.
Exactly.
How did y'all end up on that soundtrack with no single out?
Indeed. Well, actually, it was the first release actually before No More, because a lot of people feel like No More was the first song that came out, but BLEEK Street came out in '99. Our album, we got signed in '99, and our album actually came out in 2000. So we were working on the whole, the project the whole time. But Nokio from Drew Hill produced the record. You know what I mean? Please Don't Forget About. That was a whole Baltimore moment. We had SCOLA singing the hook on there. Nokio produced the track, and of course we singing the song. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a moment that shout out to David McPherson from Epic that really made that happen. You know what I mean? But I know you had asked the question of how we got the name Ruff Endz. I don't think we answered that question. But yeah, that's pretty much how we got on the soundtrack. After we got our deal and we was working on the project, we start to find out our groove, if you will. because we was working. We did like, man, we probably did like 60 to 70 different songs before Love Crimes came out. You know what I mean? So once we found the right producers, we worked with a guy named two brothers named the Brothers, and then we worked with Manuel Steele, and it was a camp of producers and writers that once we got with them, the album kind of like fell into place. And when they heard the label was like, yo, this is it. That's when they hear Where Does Love Go, Phone Sex. They heard what's the song? Ooh, there were times when I look at you. The Most Beautiful of All Views, Apologize. Once we did all those songs, those were the songs that they built the rest of the album around. You know what I mean? Because we had a bunch of songs that we did before. We worked with Jack Bay from Down Noontime, Teddy Bishop from the that Bad Boy clique of producers. We worked with a lot of different producers. But when we worked with the Clemens brothers, it kind of really shaped everything. And then we worked with Nokia. We did that Nokia joint, and it kind of summed the project up. And the last song on the album was us working with Eddie F and Darren Lighty. Eddie F, former Heavy D and the Boys DJ, but he's the guy, like you said, that did a lot of the songs with Next, Ideal, all them songs that had that
Jaheim, right?
Jaheim. So he was the last song. The album was done, and our guy Dave McPherson over at Sony was like, I think y'all need to work with them. I love the album, but let's just go. And we was kind of tired. We was like, man, we ready to put this album out. We've been doing all these songs, and we worked with them, and that's when we did No More Shopping Sprees. And it was a couple other songs we did, but No More was the one. You know what I mean? So
that's, man, it's first of all, I even wanted to jump on the entity part of it. You feel me, with Nokia, because I've never once, and again, maybe I'm wrong. And Nokia is my nigga. He mad at me right now and shit, but no, you know what the fuck it is. Nokia, my guy, man, and he's so talented on the production, right? And a lot of people don't realize, of course, on that song, on the Please Don't Forget About Me, you can hear the Baltimore representation. It's all through the end of it. You feel me? This is another B more. But a lot of people don't realize that was Nokia on the production and stuff like that. But even prior to that, you brothers was on SDE. Do y'all remember what that is? Look, y'all don't even remember.
SDE. Hold up.
SDE. One of the sports, drugs, and entertainment. Davinch, don't go Googling. I see you reaching for your iPad trying to Google. Sports, drugs, and entertainment. Y'all don't remember the Cameron album?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I need a freak. I need a freak. That's what I'm looking for. Look, y'all got
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff with Cameron. Seen the light of day, too. Bunch of records with Cameron. Never came out, yeah. That was the time.
It was another one with Cam that dropped a couple years later, but SDE was a dope album. Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment was a dope album for me because it's like 99. I'm coming out of middle school, going to high school. At that time, y'all know Baltimore, what it is. You feel me? Sports, Drugs, Entertainment. It made a lot of sense, right, nigga? We dial here, right? So you're trying to be positive, but you still, hey, I want to go to school. I want to do positivity. So that album meant a lot. How did y'all end up on that one? Like, this is all prior, and I want the world to know. Ruff Endz was jamming and making a name before we heard No More.
Exactly. That's crazy.
How did y'all end up on that?
So we were on the same label. So before Cam made the move, he was over Sony Epic. Like the whole story about when he came in the label and smacked up we were there that day. We left and went to an interview. Like we was at the Sony building. We left to go do the interview. By the time we came back, we heard this whole story. Cameron just came in here. He had like 20 big goons with him. He was mad because they ain't doing a promotion for his album, which it was true. It was true. It's like, especially in New York, somebody's album come out, you know it, because the street team hit the streets hard. You see it in every club. You see it on all the poles and every barrel. Like, it was, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a part of marketing and promotion, especially for New York. So when your album come out and you looking and he looking at other people's albums out, like, yo, I see the Locks got something out or such and such got something out. He's like, bro, I ain't got not one flyer. He's like, I'm on the bridge on the way coming into New York and I don't see not one Cameron flyer. Bro, are you serious? He came up to the label. Yeah, wild out, jacked a couple people up, slapped some people up. So long story short, it was like he'd already rocked with us. He already felt like, okay, y'all like the most thorough R&B group on a label. You know what I mean? Y'all like hanging out with some MCs, with some rappers. Like y'all cool, down to earth, y'all from around the way. So he always wanted to do something with us. Jewels wanted to always link up with us. So it was one of those things where we just had to make it happen. Oh, long story short, not to go into it too long. So before all of that, before Cameron Wild All and all of that, when we got to the label, Cam was there. There was a couple other people that was on the label. We had did a Black College tour. They call it the Black College tour. Ain't nobody know who he was, bro. They thought we was two members of JODECI, which was crazy that JODECI split up and wound up being a two-man group. That's what's really crazy about that story. JODECI wound up splitting up to two people. This is how crazy this is. We was on a Black College tour. It was Cam. Cam was the only person they really knew because he had Horse and Carriage. Horse and Carriage is for hire, right to the top. That was the only song they knew from Cam. He ain't have none of all the songs everybody know now. Strings, this girl that had a low haircut. She was like real explicit. She wound up getting signed to like to Cash Money or something like that, and dealing with Manny Fresh or something like that after a while or something. She had a song with Keith Sweat and Porter Rock, the original guy that did the saying "What's up?" He's the original guy that came up with that. He's the original. We did this Black College tour. We had to fight for our love every night, like 5 Heartbeats. Every night we had to fight to prove our love, like, because they know who we was. So we had to go up there like, yo, with that feeling like, dog, they don't know who we are. We just some group on the tour with Cameron. They know Cameron from Cameron and Mace, Killer Cam and Mace. So right, so they knew him. Us, they didn't know us. They ain't know Porter Rock. They ain't know the girls. They probably knew the girls' Strings maybe a little, because that song came on the box a few times. Her and Keith Sweat or something. They was like in the snow. They was like in the snow mansion and she was rapping. Other than that, bro, they thought we was two members of JODECI. It's like, y'all JODECI? Something. Yeah, y'all sound like them a little bit. Y'all sing hard like them. Y'all sing hard how they sing hard. I'm like, no, we Ruff Endz.
I ain't even gonna lie. A couple times after a while, like it was, especially with some white people thought we was JODECI. And I didn't say no, I just stayed quiet, you know what I mean? Like, they was like, can I get your autograph? I just of course when they saw my name, it wasn't JODECI, it was like
Hey, Davinch, I forgot too, because you was right, man. You keeping me on point. We didn't come to what's the name of how the Ruff Endz name came.
Indeed. Well, it was a guy, man. It was actually it was like the Baltimore Wu-Tang Clan. These cats was called the Ghetto Rats.
Rats.
New York, you know, a lot of New York niggas used to come down Baltimore and get that money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you know what I mean when I say that. So a lot of those cats, they was some cool dudes though, real cool dudes.
Real cool.
And DJ, I forget the DJ name, but he was producing tracks, and I forget how we linked up with him. I think it was maybe through my man E. I'm not sure, but we was hanging with those cats a lot, and we was doing like hooks on their songs, and they had it was like 40 niggas for real. And they all was rap different kind of styles. They had this guy named Savage that was like, he had like a big like afro. He was like a Navajo Indian looking kind of dude, but he was like lyrically insane.
He was
like
incredible.
He was a short, like a look. I wouldn't call him a midget, but a little people, short dude he was like a hustler. He was crazy. Like it was a wild camp, a dude.
Mordecai, he had like a different voice. He was like, yeah, he had his voice was like this. He used to talk like this. But his rhymes was crazy with it. Like
crazy.
They was from everywhere. I think some was from like Philly, I think, or somewhere, or like they was from different places. Yeah. But Big Head was the leader of them for real. He was from Cali, I think. One of them was from Cali.
From their camp, being there so much, we just round away dudes, white t-shirt, Tim's on, you know what I mean? And they
all just kept Baltimore shit.
Y'all gotta come up with a name. Like, yo, what we gonna call y'all? Y'all gotta come up with y'all name. What you gonna name yourselves? Cause y'all dope as I don't know what. And one of the guys, it was like a couple of days, and when we went back up there, he was like, yo, I think I got a name for y'all. He was like, Ruff Endz. And everybody kind of like looked around at each other like, yo. And then they looked at us, we looked us up and down, was like, yo, Ruff Endz. And we was like, we just kept saying it, Ruff Endz. We was like, yo, that's it. I think that kind of flow. I mean, I don't know what it means, but that joint, it worked. Plus us being from the rough part of Baltimore, it just went with our personality. We wasn't the average, R&B singers. Like we wasn't as pretty and like, like all dressed up and with the wavy head, We wasn't like an Albie Shore kind of dude. We was just kind of rough around the edges. So it kind of worked and stuck, man. And that's really who came up. They actually came up with the name for us.
Got you. Oh man, he just now. Man, I love these stories. First of all, Davinch, get inside the camera. Yeah, let's just move it just an inch to your left, just so you can stay in there. The ladies want to see you. You feel me? You like Chauncey Black from fucking Black Street. They want to make.
Chauncey, I done been so many niggas on the road. Even to this day, like if I'm fresh and clean, when I get that head clean and I look all, they were like, Chauncey from Black Street. I'm like, I just go ahead and take it. I'm like,
go with it. You Sean Kemp. It's Gary Payton. That's what I meant to say. He Chauncey, Gary Payton.
Yo, Gary Payton sing? Yo, he played ball and he can sing and produce.
Hey, G, the most disrespectful shit I just now say fucking Sean Kemp. I meant to say Gary Payton. I hope the Vince don't got no complex because he gonna cry when this shit over. He called me fucking Sean Kemp.
They ain't no funny looking dudes. They straight. You know what I mean? They decent looking brothers. He good. He good.
Dante was back in the day. If I'll show you some pictures though, Busta Rhymes and Dante was so close of how they look. A lot.
Real?
Yo, crazy.
Bus spent a lot of time down Baltimore too. So you might you saw a bus and you I just now shout out to the homie Rampage. I just now had Bus Cousin on here recently and shit. Rampage. So I got a question, right? Because I want to back to the Drew Hill thing. So you mentioned SCOLA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, we gotta go into this shit. You brother sung at the Fudgery?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's like a rite of passage of Baltimore R&B artists, yo.
Said a rite of passage.
It is. It's like, yo, for the people that do not know what the Fudgery is, man. If you ever visited Baltimore City, right, you had to go down to the harbor. The harbor, from what I hear from out of towners, is a place that you wanted to go. Even though for Baltimoreans, it was a place that you had to go strapped and well protected. But for out of towners, it was the place, right? and the Fudgery was inside the harbor, and they did chocolate. Drew Hill from there, they did chocolate, and this is back in my R&B days. For those that listen to my show, y'all know I wanted to be an R&B artist. Can't sing work shit. But I wanted to be an R&B artist, so me and my cousin, rest in peace, Desmond, used to go down to Fudgery and watch them sing. And they be down there with chocolate. Oh, we're swinging up chocolate, all types of stuff. So Davinch still got the arm. He like, yeah. Yo, tell us what that was like as I'm guessing y'all still a 4-man group at this time. What was the time at the Fudgery like? What did it build for the, and I'm laughing about the Fudgery, but I know it had to build stage presence. I know it had to build not being scared. I know it had to build making a clown of yourself, because if you're from the hood, we used to laugh at my niggas that worked there, like, and they could sing, but it was so funny. What did the Fudgery do for y'all?
Well, I'm gonna start it off. It did a lot as far as for me for stage presence, because I still used to get butterflies real bad. Dave, on the other hand, he would go off on a bus. Like, we sit in the bus, I'm like, yo, they gonna put us off. He's like, man, we ain't got nothing but 2 more stops. I'm gonna be loud and do the harmony note. You gonna leave your boy? You ain't gonna do the harmony note? Although we've come, you ain't gonna do the come. You ain't gonna do the note with me. You gonna leave your boy out there? You gonna leave your boy hanging, singing by himself on the bus? Like, Dave used to do stuff like that all the time. So the Fudgery for me was like really cracking the shell. It was really cracking the shell. But it came right after school. It was like right after we graduated. Like, I think the year after or something like that.
It was like that last year we was in school, we started like.
Yeah, and I remember he came back from the harbor. I remember he's pumped up. He was like, yo, I got a job. I was like, what? He's like, I got a job. I was like, what you mean? I was like you went somewhere and they gave you a job? He's like, yo, they gave me a job on the spot. I went down there, I sung, he threw me a shirt and told me whatever. I was like, oh, I'm going down there tomorrow. He's like, oh, you definitely gotta go down there. So I went down there and sung, and he told me start the next day. You feel what I'm saying? But this was before Drew Hill. Not to try to one up nobody or nothing like that.
No, we need that. Like that. This is before Drew Hill?
Yeah, this is before Drew Hill. This is when a lot of the people, this is when the Baltimore Fudgery really started getting their structure. Like, they still got songs that they sing at the Fudgery that me and Dave wrote. Like, I'm talking about the Fudgeries in other places, like the ones that still open in other states. They have songs that the coordinator taught them that's from Baltimore that we wrote. That's crazy, right? That's
how
crazy.
Baltimore Fudgery was.
That's dope as shit.
Yep. So we came in there, and it was my homie Paul. Paul wound up being one of the regional managers. It was Reggie. Reggie wound up being a part of one of our groups. One time we almost got signed by Patti LaBelle. Reggie and this guy named Phil Freeland that was like Brian McKnight and my homie Quan. They was a part of the group that we had at one point in time too, before we came all the way out. That we put together a lot of the structure of it. We used to have these Showtime rehearsals. We would learn all the songs. We should redo all of the songs. Like, What's Love Got to Do with It was What's Fudge Got to Do with It? Whoa, what's Fudge got to do with it? Stevie Wonder was Isn't Fudge Lovely? Isn't Fudge Wonderful? Everything was a Fudge song. So, yeah, I mean, it was great for creativity. It was great for just needing a place to be loud without nobody telling you be quiet. Because that for me was a lot. Like, I could go and be loud, and that just gave me room to mess up a little bit and just like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to be in a soundproof studio. I'm in the mall downtown at the harbor singing This Old Fudge or something. What was it? these three words, like these three words by Stevie Wonder, I switched it around to a fuzz song. I'm singing it loud at the top of my voice. Loud. Ain't nobody telling me shut up or you can't sing in here or you gotta be quiet, you gotta hold it down. Yeah, that was beautiful. I used to love that job. But it did a lot for our growth though. I ain't gonna lie. Just working with the public, working with people, coming out of that shell of, can you sing something for me? And being able to sing right on the spot. The Fudgery was, that's what the Fudgery was.
Sing, I don't want to promote. I don't know. Fuck that. I do want to promote because this is a staple in Baltimore. Yo, the Fudgery is a staple in Baltimore. And I know you just now made me aware that it's in other places. I never knew. You know, in Baltimore, it only Baltimore exists us, right?
That's it.
So I never knew that it was in other places. Like right now, I can't wait to Google and take my kids to wherever it is because it meant so much. I'm telling you, I thought I was going to be a part. This is all part, like I said, part of my singing career. My singing career lasted maybe 3 years, right? It lasted maybe 3 years, right? And the end of it was at the Fudgery, when she was like, "Sing." I was like, "No,
nah."
I didn't know that was. I gotta study for this test. Like,
I didn't come here
for that. I didn't come here for that. But I came here to let you know that I wanted to. I didn't fucking come for you to make me sing. And it was like sing on the spot in front of people. But
that was it.
Yo, the Fudgery was so dope, man. So to find out that y'all were even there, even just saying before Dru Hill, like you said, it ain't even about just saying that. It's the fact that that is a staple of Baltimore. So I want to get into what Dru Hill is to Ruff Endz now, because we talked about SCOLA. We mentioned that twice, and I know SCOLA is not an original member of Dru Hill, but SCOLA is in a lot of Ruff Endz videos, and I know that relationship has to be deep. Y'all want to know how I know?
Indeed.
Because if anybody is a Ruff Endz fan, SCOLA allowed this nigga Davinch to bush his whole fucking face in a video. Only a friend could do some shit like that.
Only a friend. Only a friend.
Only a friend can allow.
Look, we were the video. I remember when I got telling me that, like, you push his face. So he was like, man, you gotta do it harder than that. SCOLA is somebody, like, before Dru Hill, it was SCOLA for Ruff Endz. Like, that is the nigga that we had up here. SCOLA was the top dog when it come to people we looked up to in the city, period. Because he was from our block. He was Emerson and his family was right round the way. Like, you know what I mean? So we seen him. This is a guy we seen round the way. Him and my brother Phil was real close. They used to go up Carver. Like, they went to school together. So to see him on the box, to see him, he was the first dude we knew that had a video on BET.
I was in the video.
Yeah.
I was in the video.
Yeah.
When I was young in the video with a little teeny blowout. And he shot the video around the way in our neighborhood. And it was Chris Robinson shot it. Wasn't it Chris Robinson or one of them?
Was the one that, you know, the big Chris Robinson that's a director?
Yeah, light skin. Yeah, hell yeah.
Chris Robinson. He was a hustler. SCOLA used to be a hustler, but he had all the hustlers from around the way supported him too. So when it came time to get bread up, like for a video and stuff like that, you feel what I'm saying? So it was a thing to us. It was like a real thing, you know. Both of us. I used to hustle, so I'm looking at it like I used to hustle. SCOLA used to hustle, and he made it. I'm looking like, yo, that's I can change my life, bro. I ain't gotta be this all my life. Exactly. I can change my life just because I'm from around here. Don't mean nothing. He used to live over top of the bar that was next door, like in the very next block to where we stayed. And then his mother used to stay next door to my aunt. And David and them stayed right down. You could take the back alley to get to Dave's house. We was all in that little in this little area about Emerson and Monroe. You feel what I'm saying? So to us, we are looking at him. We are looking at him, his family. We see his problems. We see his family members that get high. We see his brother and them that's his cousin and them that's hustling and doing it. And I'm looking at my life like, yo, that's like my life. I can do it. I can get up out here the same way, bro. Like, indeed. So for us, Bruce SCOLA was that. He was that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like no questions asked. Like, I don't even want to get that twisted or misconstrued. You know what I mean?
Shout out
he did his thing.
SCOLA. Shout out to
SCOLA De Niro.
With SCOLA, SCOLA is also one of the first people I seen with posters down here. On the local scene that wasn't big, wasn't, already blown nationally. SCOLA had them local posters and he was jamming
everywhere.
After that, I think it was like Clayway and it was a few rappers and shit. But SCOLA it was the first time I think I saw Dope Boy Money in an R&B singer. So I thought it was dope. You feel me? Like it's different. This is, oh man, y'all niggas showed it in the video too. Y'all showed KRAYZIE Johns. Like, was that the original KRAYZIE Johns y'all showed?
That was the original KRAYZIE Johns.
Oh,
I'm so glad you said that.
Oh,
that was the one. The one.
The Death Trap. It was a.
They had to shut it down, boy. It was too much. It was
a Death Trap. I was probably fucking 13. I was probably fucking 12 at KRAYZIE John. Listen, man. For those again, I know I told y'all from the beginning of this show. It's for y'all because they became national celebrities. But it's for Baltimore because they are local heroes. So I want to make it clear. Oh man, KRAYZIE Johns, y'all. I want to build this moment for y'all. This moment smells like crack pipes. Every fucking part of Baltimore City. Have your gun on you, please.
Chicken boxes.
It got to be onions, cheesesteak subs, arcade games,
chicken boxes.
Fucking LMS. I fucking nobody remembers the impact that LMS had on the city. Do y'all remember? Like with LMS, the rappers?
Yes.
Like when they was the first, like they was the first ones I seen on the box. And I love how y'all just now showed what's the name, SCOLA so much love. But at the same time, do y'all realize that y'all was like that to the next generation of like
that's crazy.
Oh, he did that, I could do it. Y'all was
that's
that.
Crazy.
Y'all was that. Like Davinch said, like his pops and his moms at the neighborhood, y'all was that to the next generation, man. Like we got a chance to say, yeah, yo, even though I'm on a block, even though we ain't got nothing, even though it was so much that we got to see y'all do. And I don't want to drag that part on, you feel me? Because we on Love Crimes now. That's we in 2000 now, you feel me? SCOLA, I did want to touch the Drew Hill. I also want to know, nigga, I'm going to tell you, I don't think neither one of y'all could dance. It's okay. It's okay. I seen it in the No More video. Davinch looked like he's fucking studying while he's dancing. He looked like I would be. I can't dance worth shit. Davinch looks like he reminds me of Woody, because Woody used to say that he hated the dance moves, right? But Davinch looks like he hates the fucking dance moves. Mm-hmm. And tell me how true is that, because he looks like who y'all want me to be? All right, I jump out that motherfucker. I'm listening. Like,
let's go.
That's what it looks like. But it was totally. What did y'all think about the choreography of the whole dance? And I watch y'all now because y'all grown up show is so much. It's so different. It's the shit that I take my lady to. It's subtle moves and things. It's just slick. Mm-hmm. But back then, y'all had to go into the whole dance routines and shit. How did y'all feel about the dance routines back then? He's like, I hated that shit.
No, I love to dance. I'm good. I love to dance. But no, I'm just laughing because I'm thinking back at the time. There was a couple editing things that we had to do. Because Dave could dance. Don't get me wrong. I grew up dancing. I love to dance. But Dave can dance, but it was the choreography though, because who we had doing the choreography, I think it was like last minute choreography of that. The choreography that did that, the people that did it is actually famous choreographers. It was two guys, but they did a lot of choreography for like Usher, a bunch of different people.
Big name.
And the girls, it's like most of the girls that's in there, if you go back and look at the video, most of the girls is like famous in that video. Like the girl with the pink shirt on, if you look at it, she's one of the people up front. She's the girl from White Chicks. That was his wife. That was like the one that was on the phone, and he was in there trying to change his stuff, and she was like, Marcus, what you doing over there, Marcus? And she was trying to find him and popping up at the hotel. She's one of the dancers in the back. She also was the lead dancer for Janet Jackson video when they was on top of that pendulum that was the stage was doing like that. She was in a bunch of Janet Jackson videos. The other girl was Maria from Maria, remind me of a West Side Story. Right. She's the girl with the snakeskin pants on in the video. It's quite a few people in there. Amari Hardwick Ghost.
Hold up. He in the video?
Ghost. Yep, he's the security guy in the video. That
Ghost is in our first video.
You know when they put the chicken head button, before they hit the chicken head button, they looking around getting clothes. He's the one helping them with the clothes.
Ghost is the dude working in the store. Ghost is the dude working in the store the whole time. He the one to get the clothes, to put the clothes back. He's the store clerk in the store. Crazy, right?
Just blew my fucking mind, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So
listen,
one more. I got one more to add to the story. So, the director is Billy Woodruff, who's doing a bunch of movies now.
Yeah, big.
The stylist was O.J. Simpson's daughter. The one that looked like him a lot and everything. And this is still kind of fresh off of the O.J. trials. This was crazy. Like, this was a crazy time, bro. This was a crazy time. It was a lot of connecting going on with that video. The two girls that was our lead girls, they wound up to be two big models. Trinidad, one of the girl names was Trinidad, and something else. They was in a bunch of commercials and a couple movies and stuff. But everything happened so fast, man, and they put it together so fast with the video. And the thing is, I messed up on some of the parts too, but David messed up on some of the parts, and I messed on some of the parts. You probably caught one of the outtakes that they didn't get from the choreography. That's what you caught, because we laugh about it all the time.
Yeah. First of all, I want all the listeners. I want all the listeners to know. I just want y'all to know, because Chi keeps trying. He keeps trying. I'm not calling them Dante, and I'm not calling them David this whole fucking episode. They are Davinch and they are Chi. I don't know why he thinks their government names are gonna resonate to me in this episode. They are the heroes, Davinch and Chi, inside this episode. So I'm gonna continue with this. I just wanted to put that out there. I'm sorry.
Put that out there.
Yo, so I wanna oh shit, man. She just now talked about the stars in the show. I can't fucking wait to watch it now. I gotta see Ghost. You feel me?
Right, you gotta see it now.
I gotta see him, but I want to skip. I want to skip one thing, and then I'll come back to it. You feel me? We're gonna jump on to the second album. Someone to love you. And they're no longer mad at the female. She's no longer cheating. They don't gotta cut her credit cards off on this boy at this point, right? But now we into the second album, right? And we going into. Because I want to go only to this part, because she was just now talking about the people that y'all had in it. Y'all had Melinda Williams in that video. And at that time, she was playing Bird from Soul Food, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I was in love with her. My baby mother bought a wig. That's the last time I liked her. That was the last time I liked my baby mother. Was in 2000. When she bought that wig that looked just like Melinda. Oh my gosh, how was that? How was it? How was it to be someone to love you? Y'all came with such a balance. Y'all came with something that that can be utilized at weddings, and I know for sure y'all are probably being still hit up today about performing that at weddings. Listen, my lady just now told me the niggas gotta perform that at our wedding. I'm just telling y'all, I'm warning y'all in advance.
Exactly.
Break that moment down, coming back off of such an amped up CD, an amped up release. Where does Someone to Love You fall at? And don't talk about the first single, because I'm gonna talk to y'all niggas about that too.
Exactly. Well, look, the thing is, coming from No More wasn't the song that we really, that wasn't we R&B singers, like we said. We was listening to Boyz II Men, JODECI were our biggest like influences. So slow songs is what we was really trying to get out there and be like, I'm gonna sing you that slow song, because R&B back in the day, I remember when the radio stations was R&B and hip hop versus hip hop and R&B. Remember, now it's changed now, but back in the day, it used to be R&B and hip hop, how they announced everything. So R&B was just like what we was trying to get to, and Someone to Love You represented like really what we was, it was the song that we couldn't wait to our fans to really hear us sing, like a slow song. Because on our first album, we had Love Crimes, and that was a song that got us a deal. And we thought that was going to be a single, but it never panned out. We never released it as a single. But so when Someone to Love You came out, it was really, I guess, a true representation of what we wanted our fans to see us in that light. You know what I mean? So Corey Rooney, Troy Oliver is the guy that produced the song. And Corey Rooney was a writer that wrote a lot of big songs with Mark Anthony, J-Lo. Like, he did a lot of stuff on the pop side of Sony. And he was Tommy Mottola's right-hand man as well. So Someone to Love You, man, doing the video. We never really got a chance to, like, when they shot the video, we shot our parts on different days than they shot Melinda Williams. So we really didn't get a chance to like connect with her. Because if you look at the video, it's like a storyline and we doing a performance. So the storyline is kind of separate from us. So we really never got a chance to connect with her. So Melinda Williams, if you see this video, we just want to say thank you for just being a part of our history and being a part of our story. We appreciate you. So we ain't never got a chance to, bro. You know what I mean? So
I thought we did meet her. We ain't meet her in the video.
I think we might have. I think we met her like real quick, but we, that was. It was like,
you fucking up what me and Davinch is trying to do right now. Melinda, as you stated, we are so thankful for you being in this video.
I love you so much.
If you would like to, at any given point of your life and your busy schedule, to send any type of video back to say you're welcome, we would appreciate it. Never mind what she said. We never met you.
No, this what I remember though, for sure. When we were gearing up to do the video, we had actually made a request because we were definitely tapped into performing a lot. So we were around fans a lot, like a lot. When I say a lot, we did every Summer Jam show from East to West Coast that you could think of, like every Summer Jam, Summerfest, the Lollapalooza, the something and in the backyard, whatever, like every single one. So we was like constantly near our fans. One of the things they used to talk about, the sisters, was, especially then, if you can remember, because a lot of entertainers as well as athletes did this a lot. They would get big, go get them a Spanish girl, go get them a little Barbie girl, something, you know what I mean? So that was their thing. So for us, we Ruff Endz, we from Round Way. So they looking like, some of the most hood athletes make it from the hood and go get Lily White or get some Spanish girl, or that's all they want to be around. So it was a thing for us to get a sister. We was like, we want somebody chocolate for the video. I remember us literally saying that. And Jesse Torrio, who came up through Chris Robinson, he wound up doing a bunch of movies and stuff too. Jesse Torrio. I remember him saying, "I got you." He was like, "I got you." He knew Melinda personally. So he was the one that called and actually pulled the trigger on get Melinda in the video. Because we was like, we want somebody that's known, we want a sister, and you definitely gotta be fine. Like, of course, he's like, I got you. He was like, I got some on my mind, I got you. And that's what he popped up with. Bird from Soul Food. You know what I mean? Because at the time,
tip as well.
Right, at the time, that's what they knew it. They knew it was Bird from Soul Food. And it's like, wow, that's incredible.
Huge.
But yeah, man, it's blessed every day. Every time I think about it, look at it.
And we had our man Nick Usher from Baltimore that was playing the lead role in there as well. Shout out to Nick.
He was in that other video too.
Okay, he looked like Boris. What's his name? Boris Cujo.
Boris
Y'all know what I'm
Kojo.
talking about? Yeah, he looks just like him and shit.
Nick was in a few Jill Scott videos too before then. You getting in the way of what I'm feeling. When
Jill
that
was
scene,
killing that shit.
When she was like, Nick, get the door. Somebody at the door. When the dude was in the shower.
Him.
And
Wow.
Jill went to the door and it was the girl. And they started, I should have done my way.
Wow.
That was him in the shower. He was in a couple, he was in like 2 Jill Scott videos, I think.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk to Jill Scott. I know I got it coming because I got to, when Jill Scott was jumping, I was probably about 14. I was dealing with a college chick over at Morgan State. And I remember, we was having like an intimate moment. I might have told this is how y'all know I don't be lying to my listeners. I might have told this story to y'all before. And in the middle of the intimate moment, she put Jill Scott on, right? And after we doing what we doing, I'm like, I'm really not feeling the vibe. Like, Jill Scott is more chill, they laid back, silly. She's like, boy, you too young to understand this. I swear to God, at that point, I never dated her again. I was so irritated by the fact, did you just now fucking bring up my age? Now, I am a kid at this time. First of all, you should be in fucking jail right now because why? You got me in your college dorm room. There's so many wrongs with this shit. But you know when a chick tell you young? it was the worst. Like, you could... probably would have been more, it was in love. She could have probably said I had a little dick and I probably would have felt better. But telling me I'm young, that shit was the worst. She like, you don't understand it.
Young buck, you don't know what this is.
I really didn't. It was like 3 years later when I finally understood how dope Jill Scott was.
Yeah, yo.
Like dope. 3 years later, man. Look, we got fucking Ruff Endz. Like, do y'all realize we've been talking for hours?
Wow.
And we ain't through y'all career yet. We in 2002 right now. Like, this shit is incredible. I don't know. And I don't know how it feels because maybe when you get to this level of celebrity that you guys are, that it feels like you're being cocky if you're tooting your own horn, right? Do y'all realize the impact y'all have had? We talked for an hour. It's literally an hour right now. This conversation, I don't know if y'all know like I know, but this conversation is interesting as shit. We still coming up with things to say, and we in 2002. We're only on your second album. You brothers and dropped, 3 more released since then. We ain't going to include... Listen, brothers, I just want to thank y'all again for being as great as y'all are and being the impact that y'all have given the world.
Appreciate you, brother. We don't realize it.
Y'all are great, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Y'all two niggas from Baltimore City, man. And when I say niggas, I mean that 100% wholeheartedly from the aspect of what we come from, what we have survived. Most of our expectancies is under 25.
Exactly.
The neighborhoods that we come from, niggas is still dying today. So when I say nigga, I mean, we on never ignorant goals, getting goals accomplished. We on some Tupac shit when I say it. Like, I'm talking on the aspect of life is hard here.
Yeah.
It is hard here. You brothers have become a goal. Like, y'all are a goal. Like, you could really put a statue up of Ruff Endz and say, hey, this is a goal to at least achieve. So I want y'all to know how important that is to me first and foremost, and let y'all know, man, when I contact y'all for interviews and things of sort, I want y'all to know how deep that is for me, because we understand what y'all went through to even get half of the distance that y'all have got. We don't even understand the rest. That's why we're doing these type of interviews, because now we want to understand the rest of the roadblocks, man. Roadblocks are real. You brothers came from here, and y'all skin color is like mine.
Indeed.
Y'all made it, man. Look, I ain't gonna make this off. Look, listeners, I know y'all thinking like, nigga, he never gets sensitive. What's going on with this sensitive shit? Listen, I told y'all from the beginning, this is Baltimore, and I need to make sure that it's known, man. I did the same thing with Drew Hill. I did the same thing with Mully, man. I did the same thing, man. This is Baltimore, and I need to make sure it's known, man. So look, I want to get on to it, man. I do want. I got a question, man, with the second album. Why the fuck did y'all drop the Memphis BLEEK song first?
It was on the I Spy soundtrack. It was another soundtrack. So we did that. It was on the I Spy. You know, Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson had this movie called I Spy, and it plays in that plays in that movie. So they doing another soundtrack thing. You know what I mean?
New York was showing us a lot of love at the time. We had a couple artists at that point that had songs with Rockefeller and things. I mean, those that don't know, Rockefeller was fucking on top at that point. This is, you might say Memphis BLEEK. It's not Jay-Z, but at this point, Memphis BLEEK was probably the closest thing that you could get to Jay-Z. And it was, Jesus Christ. And man, Memphis BLEEK is money, murder, cat. Memphis, one of my favorite rappers. Y'all know that. Anyway, how was that? Did y'all get a studio session with that? Or was it some, I fly your vocals to me?
How was it with the drink with BLEEK? I know we wound up hanging out with him. I know we definitely hung out. We went to Brazil for a couple of days together. Did a video. It was insane. That's all I'm gonna say. We had a great time. Us, Beehive.
You know how he said that? We had a great time.
We had a great time.
It sums up everything that happened on that trip.
A great time. One of the silent partners of Rockefeller, Beehive. Beehive was there. Tata was there. Tata and Murder, who Jay-Z, I know y'all probably heard Jay-Z say, mention that name quite a few times over the years. Tata Murder was there, and Beehive, BLEEK. We had a couple guys with us. Little C, who was one of the owners of the block. You know, the block where with Scars, Los, all of them come out of, right?
Yeah, it was 4 of them. Right. Drop, Los, Scar, Akbar.
Yep. You know, that's like our family. So Son, the one they call Son DJ, he was like our role manager. I grew up with him from the dancing days. Before we was even singing, we was dancing in talent shows. Wound up linking with him. They came on the road with us. Little C and all them, they bought their own tickets and all that to Brazil. Man, it was incredible. We hung out for a couple of days, but yeah, man, it was a few people that wanted to do records with us, man, that we never knew until like years later. Like Drag On. He told us this wild story about he met up with Dave McPherson, the guy who signed us, and was telling them like, yo, you need to sign those dudes. And when you sign them, I want to do a record with them. So it could be a Ruff Endz, Rough Rider record. And I'm like, yo, are you serious? We outside a bodega in New York, and he's telling me this. Like, I just ran into him out the blue. And this was like in between when I don't even think me and Dave had contact with each other or something like that. I ran into him one day in New York. He was in a little Z, a Z300 or something. He was in a little Z outside with some BBSs on it. And I looked, and he was like, yo, Ruff Endz cat, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, man. It's like, yeah, man. And we just started talking. He was like, yeah. I heard y'all demo for y'all came out. And I told Dave McPherson, I said, yo, you gotta sign them. I said, he was like, they hard, man. Like, them boys hard. They can sing. The streets gonna love them. I was like, wow. So there's a bunch of those little stories that have been popping up, but BLEEK, man, yeah, dudes like BLEEK and what's his name? Cameron, what's Cameron? Jewels and Jim Jones and Freaky Zeke and all of that. We used to be around them like way before we came out. You feel what I'm saying? So we would run back into them later on, or even like, I guess as far as like when we did the song with Ghostface, like, you know, I guess our name was in the fabric of the city and a lot of places like that. So it was, you know, it was a no-brainer, right? It was a no-brainer when we linked up with them.
Y'all chose the dopest name, man. Again, I wasn't with the Ultimate Condition. But Ruff Endz, y'all niggas sound like y'all belong with the gangsters. Y'all belong exactly where y'all ended up, you know, fucking with the artists that put that solidification on hip hop, that put that solidification on honesty, that put that solidification on reality. And I even love that shit of like the transition from the first album to the second album. You know, Someone to Love You. Oh, I'm sorry. Love Crimes to Someone to Love You. I mean, we've seen the growth, and I understand that it was a growth that y'all wanted anyway because you used to balance and things and so on, but it even showed the growth in a man. You know, it showed a fuck you, bitch, and wasn't I there to represent you when that nigga tried you in the streets? Like, that shit showed. Like, now, you know, we on the second album, we talking about threesomes and all types of grown-up things. You feel me? Let's get into
grown-up things.
So you get what I'm saying? It's like, look, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Look, I know. But this shit is an honor to me. And first of all, I want to make sure that's being known because I know I spoke with both of y'all before, especially Chi. I spoke with you because we had our little difficulties prior getting on. But this shit is an honor for me. It's an honor for Cards Face Up. And I just want to thank y'all sincerely from the bottom of my heart. But I want to get it out. I want to move into it. We're going to skip the Greatest Hits album because you niggas do have Greatest Hits album. We're going to skip all the way to what the hell happened? Why did we do years apart when we shining? We shining. We got a hit single on both of the first CDs. Hit single. And I think that we only have one hit single on both of the first CDs because you niggas jumped so quick to the next CD. But this was a time when music moved so quick. Like, you get what you get in it, right? So I totally get it. But then we went like, 7 years, and then we got the what was the CD? What was it?
It was like an unreleased Final chapter. It was like demos from that was supposed to basically for we was working on our third album. So it was just unreleased ideas for an album that never, you know, we had broken up at that point. So it was just demos that just put out for our fans, you know what I mean? So it was like fans might want to, you know what I mean, still want to hear music from us. And we just kind of basically put it out, you know what I mean? Dante called me like, yo.
No, hold up. Before you even say that, I want to be very, very transparent because I want to look at it from the fans' point of view. We already had Dru Hill Baltimore, right? And even though we found out certain things that y'all did first during this interview, at this point, we've already seen groups break up that are fucking wonderful together.
Indeed.
You feel me? Come on now. We talking about KC. Can KC make an album by herself? Like I said, I talked to Davante. Davante got some fucking hits by himself, and they sound like fucking JODECI. It's crazy, right? I don't fucking get it. But the magic. So we know that she and Davinch can both create. Davinch created without you. She was creating without. We knew the greatness that y'all could do alone. We've already seen so many groups separate. I want to know why. What hit that made y'all say, yo, we're gonna separate and do a final chapter album, say goodbye to our family? As a group.
Well, the beat, you know, it was several things. You know what I mean? Family. At the point, I had a son on the way. I had lost, you know, my parent, my father passed away at that time. So it was a lot of transition. And me and my brother was at odds, you know what I mean? Like we was having our personal issues because Ruff Endz, you know, for most people that don't know, even groups like Drew Hill was put together. Like they all together with their own agendas, you know what I mean? Like, so a lot of groups in the industry are like that. Some of these groups are put together, not all of them are organic. Me and my brother, like we brothers first, you know what I mean? So, you know, us having our issues was a part of it, you know what I mean? And of course, on top of that, everything else personally, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it was all by design because you got to realize, like, I was a teenager when we was chasing this music, you know what I mean? So, you know, I was living at my mother's house. Then when I got a deal, I went from getting a deal, getting money, you know what I mean, to, you know, just being on the road. So it's a lot of stuff we didn't learn about, we didn't experience, you know what I mean? So taking time off the road, I think was about time for us to grow up as men, to you know, Dante has a daughter. I have a son that's 19 now, you know what I mean? I got married, you know what I mean? So I built my relationship with the Lord, with God, you know what I mean? I've seen my creator. Definitely got my spirituality intact, got my mindset together, you know what I mean? All of those things. So it's a lot that I think the separation, you know, you know, what it caused is what I would say, you know what I mean? Separation was by purpose, not, you know, sometimes we think it's a breakup, but it's actually by design, you know what I mean? And that's how I look at it, because I believe everything happened for a reason. But the reason, you know, us coming back together is a really the reuniting of two brothers, you know what I mean? So what you see now is a real brotherhood, real friendship. And that's, you know, that's who we are, you know, as a group, being transparent. And I know fans be like, y'all need to stay, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's different when you got to live this life yourself. You know what I mean? Like we missed out on, it was a lot of sacrifice. We missed out on imagine all of the holidays with your family, you know, y'all get together, all of them. I missed out on all. You know, we was on the road, you know what I mean? We was in the studios. We was, you know, anytime there's something going on, we were actually performing when family members would come together doing things, you know what I mean? So it's only like Christmas when the industry is down, then we was able to be around, you know what I mean? So, and even sometimes around Christmas, we was using Christmas time to record and stuff like that. A lot of sacrifice being in the group. So I would say it was nice to be just a regular person for a while, you know what I mean? And to know what it is to just, you know what I mean, live your life, be a father, be a, you know what I mean, that kind of thing, you know, be a brother in my family, you know, be a husband, that kind of thing, you know? So I think it was all by design.
That was a great fucking answer. That's a good you got to answer, brother. I want both of these auditions. I feel like I just now had a breakthrough at the council. I feel happy. Nobody else feel happy? Y'all don't feel happy right now.
Yeah. So life, man. It was like it definitely was crazy. It was a crazy time. Yeah, a lot of what David said is like the time that we would have had took to grow up in that transition period to becoming like from a teen to a man, we did on the road. I mean, it might not seem like a lot when you think about it, but it's a lot. It's like that transition period when you're learning how to handle a lot of things in your life, when you're learning how to maneuver a lot of relationships, whether it be personal, family, friend, business, whatever the case is. It's like instead of you sitting at a desk learning it, you like that little video clip of the guy or the girl, she's running and she's trying to get ready for work at the same time. She's brushing her teeth and throwing the water on her face and throw her shirt on. She throwing the jacket, throwing one of her shoes on while she running down the street at the same time. It's almost kind of like that. It's like while we're being propelled forward, you still got to put the work in to develop yourself as a man, you know, because a lot of us, we all know a lot of people grow up and still handle things like a youngster, like young in the mind, you know. They never really learned how to deal with breakup, heartache, when things don't go their way, when things do go their way and they get everything they want. Like a lot of that has its ups and downsides to it. So for us, I know for me, it was like family stuff. A lot of stuff had happened. Like girl I was dealing with wound up having an abortion. It just played a lot on my emotions. It was like, it was hard to really pull them in. You know what I mean? It's like, because I didn't, you know, Baltimore, a lot of people don't know, and I'm going to say it flat out. A lot of people in Baltimore are emotional. That's why a lot of people die down here. Like you could paint it any way you want to paint it, but most of us, as far as men, or just period, but I know as far as the men here, it's almost like we were bred to be psychopaths, and so to speak, in a way. Don't show your feelings, keep everything in. Don't, you know, it's like you want me to compress all my emotions, all my trauma, and then still appear to be this strong, nothing ever bothered me, nothing ever fazed me. You know, I love, but I ain't loving the people who don't love me. Like, don't nobody get that perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that builds trauma and pain on so many levels. So it's like you got a bunch of emotional men that don't want to admit they're emotional, but you want to still be the tough guy. That's a problem in the city. You feel what I'm saying? That's the guy that's going to act out and say he ain't hurt, but he hurt, and shoot up a bunch of people or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with that. So for me, I went through a depression stage. Like, I went through a hard depression stage where I couldn't even identify what I was going through. I didn't even know what I was feeling. I ain't know what the lack of drive, the not wanting to be around. I'm a people person. I always wanted to be around people, party and do stuff. I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Don't tell me nothing, especially don't tell me nothing I'm doing wrong or did wrong. I don't want to hear none of that. So I got to the point where I wanted to be a hermit. I ain't even want to be around nobody. I ain't want to be around people. Like, I don't want to hear nothing. Like, just leave me alone. I got to that phase. So, you know, we hit real notes. We hit real key notes in our song of life with this music career, like a lot of people hit. So, you know, and that was it. You know, the reality of life hit us from different angles. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with each other, dealing with the industry, dealing with things not going our way, and then family stuff with that added in. Indeed. That a lot of stuff that never get talked about. You know what I'm saying? Somebody passed, somebody got hurt, somebody said this, somebody said that. All of that come crashing in. Because now you're not moving as fast. Things have slowed down. So now people got a chance to catch up to you. You got a chance to catch up to yourself, your thoughts, all of that. All of that comes in, you know what I mean, at a pinnacle. So
a lot of money and rolling like that and staying busy, you don't get a chance to deal with stuff.
Oh no, throw money at it. Keep moving.
It's over for a while. Like, that's why you see people with money and they committing suicide and all that. Like, money, we say it, but money ain't doing nothing. It's just temporary. You got money and it's rolling, but when you blow up, it all catch up with you. You know what I mean? You all got to deal with it. You know what I mean? So Dante, on top of that, you know what I mean? I don't know if you want to bring it up, but the whole thing about Talisha, you know, she rest in peace, but finding out about your son that wasn't your son, you know, as far as your biological son. I mean, he's still your son, but that was a big thing.
That was a part of my depression hit. It was like everything happened at once. And it's like some things happen at once, but then it's like when I feel like I was digging my way out, that hit. And that like, it's like, what am I what am I supposed to do with this? Like, how am I supposed to do with this, to handle this, to deal with this? Like, how do you come back from this? How do you come back from finding out your 10-year-old son that was named after you is not your biological son? Like, how do you deal with that? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was it was a little bit of a shitstorm. You know what I mean?
I totally understand it, for sure.
That's
gotta do. Like I said, a man's gotta do what he gotta do. It's really so true, you know. And a man has a, sometimes, man, you have your own vision and whatever you feel like you gotta go. And you know, love doesn't constrict. Love is gonna support you with whatever it is, you know what I mean? So I get it, man, you know.
my little cousin today. My little cousin today lost a homeboy of his from Parkville High. I don't remember exactly his name, and my apologies, family and different things of sort. I don't remember his name, and I was about to try to look up, but I would take a second. But anyway, he lost a friend from his high school day, and I told him told his mom, I said, we have to make sure he learns from it, he gains something from it. And I watched this shit because we're talking about the Ruff Endz split. We're talking about the Ruff Endz breakup. And we had the Freddie. That brought my friends back together. At least in my head, it did, because that was the next release that we got from you guys, was during the Freddie Gray situation.
Exactly.
What was going on, and it was positivity, and that's what I was trying to tell my aunt, which is his mom. He has to learn from it. He has to see something from it, right? We don't want no kid to die. The fuck I would have wanted to do. This 17-year-old kid, he died on Rossville Boulevard and Bel Air Road. So for all my people that actually was gonna do it, I don't want y'all to think I'm ever bullshit, y'all. You feel me? It was Monday night. Today is whatever. Y'all can look this shit up. You feel me? Rest in peace to him. All condolences to his family. But I want my little cousin to learn from it. And you guys came back together during a moment of negativity, a moment of disparity through the city. How did that feel? How did that feel for Chi and Davinch? Like, how did that feel? Come back together for that.
It was a moment of power. It was a moment of power for us. It was a moment of having the power to be heard, you know, putting the work in to build a platform where people would identify and listen to you. So it's like, instead of people calling up, which a lot of people was calling to the radio station, but then, you know, even that can be looked at like, are they trying to ride the coattail of this incident to gain some momentum? You know, people started looking at some people like that. Like, you don't even hear from people like that, or they promoting a new album or something. So it's like a fine line between when I say something, how do I say it? Like, you know what I mean? At the same time. But at the same time, it's like, okay, west side of Baltimore. We from west side. Pennsylvania Avenue, Gilmore Homes. I used to live on Gilmore and Riggs. You know what I mean? Know everybody in Gilmore Projects. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's uncle was staying in Gilmore Projects at the time, him and his daughter's mother. Like, I used to volunteer at Shake and Bake right down the street on Pennsylvania Avenue from where the riot started at. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, it comes to the point of, like, we talking about manhood. This is something that's important and key in my life. Like, regardless of what anybody think, gotta say something, gotta do something. That's what I'm feeling. Exactly. David's feeling the same way. So it's like, when we linked up and got together, it was like, this has to happen. This is meant to happen. I'm in the Jewish part of, I'm in what they call Jewtown. You know, if you're from Baltimore, you know, Jewtown is like up there, right? The racist town. Right. Come on, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm up there. I'm at this little spot up there. I usually never walk around there, but you know, certain days, a lot of the Jews up there, they're out walking with their kids and stuff like that. So on this day, I didn't walk. I'm actually walking to the store to get some cigars. I'm being 100 with you. Walking to the store to get some cigars. And I'm on the phone because I just did like a little appearance, a friend of mine in New York. We having these little shows, and I did a show, and she recorded it, and she was looking back at the show because I had another guy singing David part on the show. She's looking back at the show, talking to me about how I need to say what I need to say to David to get him back. And that's the other guy can sing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking down on him, but he's a different animal than your brother. Y'all are two different animals in that dude. Don't get me wrong. Again, he can sing and all of this, but and this is y'all baby, and you can tell when it's your baby, when it's your brand. She's saying all of this. I'm walking to the store. While I'm walking to the store, no BS. I'm on the phone like this, and I'm cutting across this field behind the apartments. Mind you, there's other people walking. They walking their kids, and I'm over like in the grass part because I still don't want nobody to recognize me, even though I'm in Jewtown. So I'm in the grass part. I'm just talking, and I see a car off in the distance on the street. The car slow down. So you know how Baltimore is. We antennas is up. So I'm looking at the car from a distance. I'm looking at the car, and the car slow up. And now, mind you, I'm on the phone talking to one of my business partners in New York about David. She's just going on and on about how he need to come back for all of these different reasons. And I'm on the phone listening. I'm like, I'm like, hold on. I'm like, hold on a minute. Hold on. I see the car slow up. The car slow up and stop in the middle of the street. It don't even pull over. The car stop in the middle of the street. I see somebody jump out the car and start running towards me across the grass. Like, it ain't even like a walkway. So I know this person is coming towards me because it ain't a walkway. It ain't like the entrance to a building. I'm behind the building in the grass. I look, it's David.
But let me talk my side.
I'm gonna let you finish. I know you coming. It's David. Now listen, it's David running towards me, and I'm on the phone, and I'm like, yo, you'll never believe this shit. I'm on the phone talking, I'm like, yo, why you talking to me about this nigga? He just jumped out of the car and he's running across the field, running towards me right now. She's like, stop playing. I'm like, I lied to you not. I'm looking at him right now, run across the field at me right now. This really happened, bro. Now I'm gonna switch to David. Now, David, tell him what happened on your end.
I'm in the car with the family, and I'm like, yo, I ain't see Dante in a while, but it's crazy. Every time I go somewhere, I see somebody that look like this nigga. And as I'm saying it, I said, see this dude right here across the street? He even walked like Dante. He just looked like Dante right here. And I'm like, man, that's Dante. So I pulls over the car and I start running towards him, and that's kind of how we connected. It was like design, you know what I mean? So again, brothers united, and of course, you know the rest of the story, man. We got together, everything that was happening with the uprisings in Baltimore. We started politicking of how we can use our ability to impact the city. And that's when Time for Change was born. And there you have the Soul Brothers album, and then later the Rebirth album. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how everything transpired. The fast version of that. You know what I mean? So.
Man, oh Lord, I just wanted to make this shit clear. I see so many short bringers of what Ruff Endz is and shit like that, man. I wanted to bring to y'all what the fuck they really is from there. Oh man, you realize what y'all just said? See, you realize what y'all just? Some niggas listening, y'all ain't even listening to who y'all are. It runs so fluent in your head because nigga done already called you Davinch, nigga done already called you chick. Y'all don't even realize how fucking dope the story is. Nigga, I want to write the movie. My lady, look, Extraordinary Publishing, we want y'all in the fucking movie. We gonna write the book. We got all that shit for y'all. Listen, we gonna get into the motherfucking oh man, he just not. You see how Davinch tried to fucking
the Rebirth album.
He tried to take my rebirth from me. He tried to take my rebirth from me. But I ain't gonna allow him to take my rebirth from me, because the Rebirth album has the fucking single, and y'all niggas know, for my listeners, Bone Thugs and Harmony is my favorite rap group in the fucking world. Shout out to fucking Lazy Bone, who big bro just now brought us out to a show. Shout out to Flesh and Bone, who just did an interview a couple months ago. You feel me? But Crazy Bone is on the motherfucking single for the Your Body. These niggas dressed up like mechanics and shit. Tell me, because we gonna get right into it. Y'all niggas is still moving. I told y'all, look, it's 24 years later. These niggas still moving. Y'all thought it was no more shopping sprees. And the fucking did everything else. Niggas, they did everything else. They still moving.
Indeed.
How we get break down the Crazy Bone and the fucking Your Body video. Break down that shit, because they need to go get Rebirth. They need Rebirth is a good fucking album.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
That's the first album.
It's a good album.
All Ruff Endz. As far as I produced it, me and my brothers wrote it. So it's the first expression of us completely. No other main writer and producers on it, you know. It wasn't planned that way, but it happened to end up that way because of the pandemic and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it actually, again, by design.
So tell us what how did the Crazy Bone feature enter be the first single? Let's break that shit down.
Well, it was first of all, we love putting ourselves in a situation where as though it's hard to decide what the single's gonna be. That's where we feel like we got a good album. Where it's like that's your only problem that you're really dealing with. It's what's the single gonna be? Because you keep every week, every other day, feel like you got a new favorite. So Your Body was one of the songs we came up with. First of all, we wanted it to be reminiscent of certain vibes, but not take the raunchiness or the distastefulness from it. So, for instance, we wanted to do a body song. This R&B, you know, it's a million songs, body songs over the decades, but we didn't want to make it obscene or sexual, because a lot of R&B is like that now. It's like you could be talking about love or a special moment, and then you'll still talk about bust it open for a real G and all of this. And like, it's like you take it one way and then you'll just turn off to the left, which, you know, you got a lot of listeners that they don't like that. They'll just deal with it because it's what's there, because that's all they got. But if, you know, we had our say, which we did. So at that moment, we were thinking a body song that's classy, and that's the opposite of a body shaming song. So Your Body was, when it was conceived and thought of, it was like, okay, we want to do a body confident type of joint, like somebody to make them feel good about their body. You've been going to the gym, you've been putting in work. I see you. Feel what I'm saying? Everybody doing this and going this route. You went the hard route. You've been in there busting your butt and eating right and doing this. And, you know, we got to have a song for those kind of people, because those people do differ from the people who take a lot of the shortcuts. You got people that they've been doing the healthy body thing for over 10, 15, 20 years. they need to be commended for that. They need to have their own song. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, we wanted it to be a little sexy too, but not raunchy, not distasteful. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Your Body was born. You know, we talking from the angle of a seasoned man with class, not necessarily a seasoned man that's still like Uncle Luke. You know what I mean? Shout out to Uncle Luke. You feel what I'm saying at the same time.
The original.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Uncle Luke. But you know, we definitely feel accountable. We feel like, you know, a lot of what we do, or most of everything we do is purpose driven. So it's like, okay, we got to stay in those lines. We got to stay in the coloring lines. We got to be classful. We got to be purposeful. Got to have that positive niche to it. So Your Body came about. And while we was in the studio, and that's still in that creative zone, was, you know, we get in that zone and just be lost, freestyling, doing different stuff. Like, yo, such and such would be crazy on this. Such and such would be crazy. Bone Thugs, Twister. We in that zone. And so we start saying stuff like, yo, that'll be crazy. You
y'all
know,
niggas
like
went in at the end.
Right.
Y'all went in. Y'all
like
went
kids.
in at the end. I could see nothing was written, nothing was prepared for the end of that song, and that shit just moved the way that I needed to move. Again, my listeners know Bone Thugs and Harmony is my heart.
Love Bone Thugs, man. Love Bone Thugs.
Listen, man, I know that I have held y'all for a long time, so I need to know. I need to know this shit, and I need real honest answers from Cheese. I need real honest answers from Davinch. I need real honest answers from Ruff Endz. Is this the last interview that Ruff Endz is getting? What the fuck should we be expecting?
Say it again.
Is this the end? Is this the end? You heard No Audition, nigga. You a fan?
That's what.
Are you?
Hey, right? Like, look, I ain't gonna try to hit that shit. Is this the end? Because y'all released the End album. First of all, I gotta say, the latest album for the Rebirth, I fucking love the cover. The slash across the middle. I don't know who opinion or input that was for the slash across the middle, but it created a divided. This is Davinch as a man. I'm no longer a kid. And this is the Chi as a man. I'm no longer a kid. And that shit just created that, like Power Rangers type shit. Y'all see Power Rangers, the new one, nigga.
We had our own colors too.
Yeah, that shit just came together like, boom, nigga, like, I love that shit. But I need to know, I want to end this interview on, should we or should we not be expecting Ruff Endz to continue for another 24 years?
Well, here's what I can say, man. I can't answer that question as far as what we're gonna do musically. We are evolving in the film. You know what I mean? The Your Body video is a video that I shot. You know what I mean? I'm in the video and film now. So I'm actually in the studio right now with a writer. You know, he's a writer, actor, he's a director, producer. I'm actually working on doing post-production on a film called Killer B&B that y'all gonna see real soon, directed by a lady. Her name is Zane. She's a well-known author and director as well. Zane author, if you know about her books and her love books that she got out. So that's kind of what we evolving into film and that kind of thing. I know Dante is doing voiceovers, acting as well. So it's definitely going to be an evolution of the brand. You know, as far as us doing, music again, I'm not sure. You know, I mean, we don't know what the future holds, but we definitely on tour. If you ain't catch us on tour lately, definitely come out and see a Ruff Endz show. We got a lot of dates coming to a city near you. We got something coming up in the DMV, July the 8th. We're going to be in the DMV with the band. It's going to be a 1-hour performance with the band, and it's going to be the whole, like you never seen this with the whole Ruff Endz crew, you know what I mean? So it's going to be a phenomenal time to come out. We'll have that information on our page at official Ruff Endz. If you're not following us on Instagram and Facebook, again, that's RUFFENDZ. But like I said, film is kind of what I have a label called Chance Music Group, a company. So we have a label side of it, you know, as well with distribution through Universal, through SRG, which is, you know, Rebirth album is on, and but then we have the media side of things as well. So it's just, you know, the industry is a lot different when it was when we was out, you know what I mean? So the streaming numbers, you know, you already know what, you know, money is very different. You know what I mean? So we gotta evolve just like everybody else has evolved. And this is just a time for evolution right at this point, you know what I mean? And to be to continue to grow. So to stay locked in with us, man. I just want to definitely say to you, brother, it was an honor being on this call, man. It was good to be with someone that's very professional and that represents Baltimore and excellence. There's a lot of times we've done things and you want to represent a hometown, and it was crazy, you know what I mean? But you still did it anyway. But I love your spirit, love your energy, and it's platforms like this that's been keeping the brand alive, man. Because we started our social media very late, so it's trying to catch up. You know, like you said, we've been away for a while, so been online, so people just thought a lot of people forgot. You know what I mean? Every day people hit our page saying, yo, I didn't even know y'all was around. Like, y'all back. Right. You know? So, I mean, every day I get like 10 to 15 people hitting us saying, you know, that's following us. Dang, Ruff Endz, I can be my jam, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, we appreciate you, brother, for what you do, because you are the platform for groups like us and brands like us that help us connect with our fans, man. So more power to you, brother, and love the excellence that you got and the spirit that you bring to what you do, brother.
But that's all. I just want to add real quick. Music is one of those funny things, man. And it's like over my lifetime, I've seen it on so many levels. And it's like it always comes back. I just keep landing on that mentally. Yeah. When I say that, I'm saying like from the beginning of damn near everything. I'm talking about like, if you go far as back to them Sam Cooke records, it's like every so many years they reinvent themselves. It's like the next section of records, R. Kelly, BBD, people in that section. Every so many years they renew itself or come back. It's like you move up to the 90s, all of the 90s stuff, get to a certain point, renew itself. You got Kenny Lattimore, you got all these other people. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Even JODECI, seen JODECI a few different times. Broke up one time. Davinch was going through something one time. KC was going through something one time. Broke up. Now they on a world tour. Dru Hill, this happened, that happened. They was fighting one time. This happened. Woody, whatever. SCOLA left. SCOLA came back. Jazz left. Jazz came back. Now they on a world tour. You feel what I'm saying? It's like same things with Ruff Endz. We went through what we went through. Bing, all of a sudden we back. We doing tours. Now it's like just recently somebody reached out to us. Was doing tours with a bunch of stuff. It's like we having this conversation today, saying I don't know this, that, and the other. Next week, a month from now, you'll be seeing on our page, oh, we got 40 dates. We about to do a 40-date, 35-date tour. Like, music is just one of those things, man. It's like it never ceases to amaze me as far as its reach and its power. Like, you know, on so many levels. First time I went to London to hear a big linky Albion European calling me Chi. Like, from not you one of the dudes from Ruff Endz. No, he's calling me by my name on the street. I thought somebody was trying to Ashton Kutcher me. You know what I mean? I thought he was trying to Ashton Kutcher me. Like, I'm like, oh, stop playing with the camera. Like, he like, Che, like, oh man, you're going a wicked thing. He just started going off. He just started talking about, oh man, you got a wicked tune, man. You see your mixtape record, man. It's like incredible, man. You got a song called What If I Leave You If You Leave Me? I'm like, this dude is naming joints off the mixtape album, y'all. I'm like, is he serious?
Exactly.
He's naming songs off our mixtape album that never came out, bro. Like, it blew my mind. So I'm saying music is one of those things. I'm definitely blessed that I have it in my life. I'm blessed all the situations, all the people, all the ways that it impacted my world, all the ways that it impacted our world, just from as far as I can remember, even as far as like people coming in off the streets from rioting because James Brown did a free concert to stop the riots in Chicago. Like,
yeah,
that's the power of music.
Prince came to Baltimore when Freddie Gray died. You know what I mean?
The power of music. You know what I'm saying? So
it never
dies.
dies. Last thing I gotta say, man, I gotta give God all the praise, man, because God is the founder of it all. He's the one that gave us the gifts, and our gifts have saved us. You know what I mean? Like Dante come from definitely a family of, you know, being in the streets. You know what I mean? You know, I had a lot of my brothers. I got brothers that we were in the middle of Emerson Basin, like we was right there, but nothing happened to us. None of us got, like, everything was happening around us. But, you know, I just thank God for keeping us this long, man, and for giving us a gift that would touch the world. So I would be wrong not to give God the praise on this platform, because he is definitely my savior, my rock, my foundation. And he's definitely our God, the God of this universe. So give him all praise. And man, again, thank you for having us, my brother. Appreciate you.
Amen. Amen. Hey, listen, Ruff Endz. I know this ain't Dan.
Indeed.
I know it. And I thank y'all brothers for coming on, because y'all helped us build that moment. And like I said, man, y'all helped us. We needed this moment of nostalgia. We needed this moment of happiness. Life is hard, man. Life is hard. I want to think about some times in 1999, times in 2000, and some times in 2003. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to smell it. I want to enjoy it again. They were so fucking good. I want to enjoy it again. And you brothers helped us enjoy it again. I thank y'all so much, because y'all could be doing a million and other one things today. Thank y'all for taking the time out to deal with Cards Face Up Podcast. Hey, for all of our listeners, y'all already know what it is, man. Cards Face Up Podcast on every platform there is. Any platform there is. Hey, welcome back. We're back. I know I took 3 weeks off, and y'all been hitting my damn DMs and inboxes and all of those things. I needed a break. It's been 3 years straight. I needed a break. I needed to chill. I needed to relax. I'm tired. A nigga is tired. But I thank y'all so much. I thank y'all so much for the support. I thank y'all so much for understanding what we're trying to do. Yeah. We're just trying to build this from the sky, just so y'all follow us on this platform. Hey, Ruff Endz, please tell them where to find y'all as a group, and please tell them where to find y'all as solo. Not solo members of the group, just solo members, individuals.
At Official Ruff Endz, that's RUFFENDZ. That's on the gram and on Facebook. They're the main 2 platforms for us. Get the Rebirth album right now. It's streaming everywhere. Download it. It'll help us more if you download the album to your phone and pay that $8.99 or whatever it is. But yeah, get that latest album from us, man. And really get into what we're doing and stay locked into our page. And we're gonna be posting things that we're doing, not just as far as our tour, but as far as what we're doing, as far as film and that kind of thing. So stay locked, man. We got a lot more coming, and we hope to see y'all at a stage near you.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, y'all already know. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all of those great things. Peace. Cards Face Up Podcast.